Students aren't always clear about what their future career looks like, and that's okay. It's a journey, it's an exploration, and we're here to help students with that.
Okay. Hi everyone, we're back with another Know Your Rights video. Today we're here with Liana Thompson from the Center for Experiential and Career Education. Thanks for joining us today, Liana.
Really happy to be here. Thanks for inviting the conversation.
Yeah. So can you start by telling us a bit about yourself and your role here on campus?
Sure. So I'm the director for the Center for Experiential and Career Education. And really, the whole reason we exist is we help students build their future careers.
That's awesome. Let's get into the first question. So first of all, where is the Center for Experiential and Career Education located?
Great question. So we're in the Student Union Building, third floor, and just in the wing across from the Advising Center.
Great. So what resources does the Center for Experiential and Career Education offer?
We have lots of resources for students. So the first that comes to mind is we have some online and in-demand resources where students that are seeking specific information, so they might want some information about how to build a resume. So we've got some resume and cover letter checklists. There's also, students might be having some specific questions about labor law or worker rights. So we have some information and some external links to point students to the information that they're seeking. Another resource that we have for students that are available is a job board. So those students that are looking for part-time or temporary work, or perhaps works that's leading to their future careers, we have a job board where employers are posting probably about 20 new jobs daily. So there's lots on there that students can explore and find something that fits for them, their needs, and their interests. And I'll say the third thing that we have is some really up-to-date information about labor market. It's ever-changing. This labor market is unlike any we've seen before. So our staff in the Center for Experiential and Career Education really stay on top of that to be able to provide that information for students. So if there's a career that you're thinking about, you might want to know, is it an in-demand career or is it something that's sunsetting? So that's some information that we can provide students through our resources on our website at CECE.
That's great. And how can the Center for Experiential and Career Education help students with career exploration?
So career exploration is really about figuring out what do you like to do, what are you good at. It's also about sometimes figuring out maybe what you don't like. So we kind of come to university thinking about, I have some ideas about my career. And really what we can help students do is to try out some different things to see if it's a fit. Or maybe try something completely outside of their comfort zone so that they can maybe explore, discover new skills, new things about themselves. So some of the ways that we do that is we do some help with students either inside their classroom, so alongside the courses that they're taking. We partner with faculty members to maybe bring in some specialized equipment or building specific skill sets or partnering with local partners or employers to solve real-world problems. A really great example of this is City Studio. And students are in their academic courses, and our center has partnered with faculty to come up with some challenge-based solutions where students get to try new skills, things that they've never ever been exposed to before. They get to work alongside community partners to see what it's like working in particular industries in the Fraser Valley region. And then from there they can kind of determine, is this a fit for me? Or, you know what, I didn't know this about myself. This is something I want to explore more. So that's ways that we can help students explore their future careers inside the classroom. There's also some ways outside of the classroom too. So I'm not sure if you've heard of a Student Experiences Fund before.
Yes, I have, yeah.
Fantastic, and really it's kind of like, the unknown opportunity for students to explore things that are of interest to them. So what the Student Experiences Fund is students can apply for up to $500 to fund something that will help them build their personal or professional growth. So some examples of how students have used this in the past. One student, a geography student, was looking to do some research and mapping and needed specialized drone training. So they utilized the $500 from the Student Experiences Fund to get that drone training, and now they have experience in doing mapping through drone flight, but then also too, they have that certification to engage in job roles where that's required. So it's a really great opportunity.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up. I really think the Student Experience Fund is such a great opportunity for students to take if they do want to, get that extra experience to enhance their, university experience and for their future career.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what does career coaching look like for students, and how can students sign up for it?
Sure. So, students don't have to explore their future careers on their own. Faculty members have a stake in that. Your peers have a stake in that. Your parents, your family network also might have, ways that they can help you. And sometimes you need a little bit more specialized help as it relates to career development, career education piece. And we have what's at the university called career peers. They're specialized, trained peer workers, so other students at UFE. And what they're there for is to partner with you one-on-one for some individualized help as you're building your career. So some of the common ways that students will work with career peers on is they're saying, like, I've got this resume, I'm not getting a lot of traction. What do you see? And the career peer can take, a really deep dive into the student's resume or cover letter and offer some solutions based on best practices in the ways that they've been trained. So that's one way that a career peer can help. Sometimes it's sitting down for a mock interview. So, and then getting some feedback on how that went. So these are great ways that students can get that really individualized support, but in, a setting that feels a little bit more comfortable because they're sitting across from another peer here at UFE.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that kind of peer-to-peer support is like super helpful for students. I've actually recently submitted my resume for review, so I'm excited to get that back and kind of see the feedback there, because I think it is really helpful to, just get that kind of practice for real-world interviews and what, future jobs are looking for in a resume. That's great.
Yes.
And what is CareerLink? Let's talk about CareerLink and how students can use it as a career mapping tool.
Sure. So they're actually two separate things. So CareerLink is in fact a gateway to all of the online services, resources, supports that CECE has. So the gateway is simply just, to CECE's website, click on CareerLink, and that's the gateway into accessing all of those resources we talked about earlier. How to book, booking a career coaching appointment, looking at job postings that local employers have posted. So that's really the gateway into all of those support services resources. It's a simple, entering your UFE email address and password, and you have access to all of that at your fingertips. So it's a gateway. CareerLink is a gateway. And I'd recommend, as students are here and coming to UFE, signing in to CareerLink early, getting a sense of what's there. Because you might not need some of those resources now, but down the road, you're like, oh, I remember it was there. So it's just a great resource. So it's a gateway, CareerLink.
Cool.
Career mapping tool is a really great opportunities for students to explore what's possible in their careers. A common question that students have is like, I'm in this degree or a program, but I don't really know what careers might be available to me. And maybe students, in their high school years went through, some career exploration, but the tools were really based on narrowing down the options, whereas the career mapping tool that's customized to UFE programs, it's based on research that expands opportunities. So it's super easy to use. A student will put in the degree program or the program that they're in at UFE, and the career mapping tool then will generate a list of careers that connect. It's based on research to see that there are career pathways between the academic area of study and the careers. In each of the careers that might interest the student, they'll take a look and it'll give a description, some salary information, some labor market demand, are these jobs that are in demand or perhaps not in demand, and some wayfinding advice, like these are some tips or things that you'd want to know, the inside information about moving toward that career. So it's really great. You can return to it as many times as you want. It's completely free, but again, it's just a resource to help you determine, like, where do you want to go with this and what's possible? So that's the career mapping tool.
That's great. Yeah, I've recently been looking at that tool to discover my options for my economics degree, and it's been really helpful. And part of the reason why I wanted to do this interview was to highlight that, actually, because I've been at UFE now for 4 years, and last semester was the first time I had heard of this tool, and it is so helpful. So definitely recommend checking it out. It's a really, really great tool. So yeah, thank you. So what are co-ops and work studies, and how can I participate in one? As well, how will this help my career after graduation?
Sure. So co-op is one of the most long-standing career services in most universities across Canada and the United States. And cooperative education essentially is alternating academic study with on-site work experience. So UFE partners with a number of employers, both locally and across the country, to provide work experience that students may necessarily not have access to if they were just looking through generalized job boards. So these are relationships that we've negotiated with some top employers. We've vetted these employers to make sure that they're able to work with students and give them some specialized skill sets over a full semester. So 4 months of work experience. It's intensive. It's paid work experience. So students are paid for their 4 months of work on the job. So essentially, co-op, it combines your area of academic study with on-the-job paid work experience, and it alternates back and forth. So essentially, you would do your first year of education, and in the summer, you might do a co-op placement, head back to school, and then repeat over the next 3 to 4 years. So what this could end up in is by the time you graduate, you've got the equivalent of almost like 2 years of paid work experience. And with maybe an employer, maybe you've tried a bunch of different employers, but you're like, wow, I love this employer. And a lot of the times, employers really love UFE students, and they'll hire them even before they graduate because they've had them on site, they've been working with them over the past couple of years. So co-op is a really great program. It's high commitment, so knowing that you're going to be away from your studies for a semester at a time, but the reward, the outcome is so great. So that's co-op.
That's great.
Work study is lesser of a commitment. And work study is the ability to gain work experience and work skills in a part-time and a flexible setting here on campus. So the great thing about work study roles is they're flexible. You can work it around like your study schedule, and perhaps you're working outside of UFE. You've got some flexibility there to help with your hours and work in a part-time basis. They're generally attached to different areas of the institution. So you could choose a work study position that's within your area of academic study, and you're working side by side with UFE staff and faculty. So you're also building your career network that way. Common positions with work study, and again, they're paid positions, research assistants, student ambassadors, career peers. I'd love to have some students work with us as career peers. And these are all paid work roles, part-time, flexible, and just a great opportunity to build your network and gain some skills. And as we talked about before, try something maybe that you haven't before and see if it might be a fit.
Great. Do you have any advice for students who aren't sure what their area of study or career path will be?
Yes, absolutely. Try something. Try something. And I would really recommend students come and talk to us as early as they can into their journey here at UFE. Come and talk to us. You may not have any idea about what career you're interested in. You may not have any immediate job or work requirements, but just come and talk to us. We're great people in Center for Experiential and Career Education, and let's just start to talk about what might be possible for you. So students aren't always clear about what their future career looks like, and that's okay. It's a journey. It's an exploration, and we're here to help students with that.
That's great. Lastly, what are your most common questions from students?
I think you sort of brought that up in your last question. It's sort of like, I don't know what to do with my degree. I don't know what to do with my program. And that's completely normal. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my degree. So it is a journey. And I would say, try some new things. Whether it's work study, it's a paid position. Whether you head down the co-op route, you could try that. Talk to your faculty members and staff. Ask them about their careers. You might find something interesting that resonates with you. Join clubs and associations. That's another great way to figure out, what you're good at, to network with other students. And that's how you're going to get a sense of what you like, what you're good at, kind of the areas that you want to participate in. And those are all things that will point to your future career.
Thank you so much for all that super helpful information today, Liana, and thank you for being here with us today.
It's my pleasure.
For more Know Your Rights, check out our website.